Okay, so hey guys, and welcome back to another video. It is a Wednesday, so we are going to be doing a kind of Premier League related video. So, in today's video, we're going to be grading Premier League strikers. So, of course, we haven't got every Premier League striker in these gradings or whatever. But we do have quite a lot of them. So, we are going to go through that. If you're new around here and you haven't yet subscribed, go down there and press that button. We're on the way to 75. Maybe we could get 75 subs, that'd be quite nice. And like the video if you do indeed like the video. But yeah, let's get straight into it. So, starting off with Arsenal. So, I think we're going to do it like this. Should I do it like this? Actually, wait. I think we'll do it like this. So, we'll start off with Arsenal. Aubameyang and Lacazette. So, I'll start off with Lacazette. Lacazette, a very, very good striker. And he doesn't get the credit he deserves. I think he's a bit underrated because he just knows where the goal is and knows always what to do in front of goal. So I've put him in an A. So we've got, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you the grading. So A+, A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay, so I put him in an A. Aubameyang, amazing striker, golden boot. I think he's got golden boot on his first season. I can't remember. But yeah, he hasn't started the best this season so far, but that still doesn't, he might have the worst season this season, but he's still going to have to be an A+ striker, really. So that is where I put him. Next up, we've got Burnley, I believe. Actually, no, we've got Aston Villa. Aston Villa, I've only got one striker, which is Ollie Watkins. So Ollie Watkins just joined the club, so I'm not going to put him too high. I know he did score a hat-trick versus Liverpool, but still, I think he's just from that hat-trick alone, he's got himself a C, but I feel like if he keeps scoring goals like that, he could easily get a B or an A or something like that, but we'll have to watch him this season. He's definitely somebody to look out for this season. Next up, we've got Brighton. So Brighton, we've got Morpie, and I think that is... Oh, and Connolly. So we'll start off with Connolly. Connolly, decent. I think he's got a good link up with Morpie, and he is getting better with Morpie, but I still don't think he's good enough to really push for any big spots yet. So I've put him in an E. And Morpie, I think he's probably the best player that Brighton have. Well, definitely the best attacker Brighton have, and has definitely started. I think this season will be his breakthrough season, as he had a good end to last season, is what I'll say, but he didn't have the best or leading up to start of 2020. So I've put him in a D, but I feel like if he has another good season this season, like he did when he was at Brentford, then I think he could push for a C or a B. Next up, I think we have Burnley. So Barnes, Rodriguez, and Chris Wood in this one. So we'll start with Rodriguez. Rodriguez was with the West Brom team that didn't quite get promoted, but then went to Burnley. And when Burnley were having injury problems after lockdown, he came in and he did alright. He scored some decent goals and kind of just didn't really feel like they were missing anybody. But I think he hasn't really played enough Premier League football to be too high up, so I put him as an E as well. Barnes next. Barnes is, with Chris Wood, is an amazing striker and can bag, and I think he's very underrated. But I have only got him in a D because I think he's not quite as good as Chris Wood, but he could easily be as good as Chris Wood because they're both very, very good together. But Chris Wood, I have got him in a C because he is just very, very good. He's the best striker that Burnley have, and it's kind of obvious. I think it was a very good buy from them just to come and swoop in and get him under the radar, but I think that he gets a C because of just what he's done for Burnley and how much he means to the club. It shows how much stronger they are when he is playing and in good form. Next up, we've got, I believe, Chelsea. So I'll do Chelsea's. So we've got Werner and we have Abraham. So we'll start with Werner. Werner's just joined the club, hasn't got a Premier League goal yet, but does seem to be doing alright, to be fair. He hasn't really got an assist yet, but some of his runs seem to be doing good. He knows what he's doing. He's definitely not like what people are saying where he's just not really doing anything and he's just being trash. But I think a C for him, But if people can like provide him the can provide him the passes that need to be, I could see him still being very, very good and still being worth the money. So C for him. Abraham, I've also gotten a C because last season when he first started like playing, I think he was very, very good. He did slip off a bit, but he was kind of in and out of the squad then, and with Giroud and stuff. But still, I think he's a very, very good striker. And England, I mean, he's still getting called up to England games, so it must show that he's still like Southgate still sees something in him. So that's why I put him in a C as well. Next up, I think we have. I think we've got Fulham. Fulham, the only... Wait, no, we've got Crystal Palace. That's it, Crystal Palace. So, we've got Benteke, Ayew, and... don't we have somebody else? We also have... Wait a minute. Batshuayi, here it is. So, Ayew, I've got in a D because I think he's their best striker. And he's kind of cemented himself into the squad now, and he was the reason why they started off so well last season. I think even when Zaha kind of went off a bit, he was still there, and he's very underrated because Zaha's just always classed as the most important player at Crystal Palace. I've got Batshuayi next, so I've put him in an E because he hasn't really done that much. He didn't really do loads for Chelsea, that's why he went on loan to Crystal Palace, and then he's kind of been in and out and around, but I do like the bond that they've got, and I think he does seem to be quite positive, so when Crystal Palace kind of get into it a bit more, he could definitely go up if they keep this kind of positive vibe around him being at the club. And Benteke, my first F. Benteke, he used to be decent. I mean, he went to Liverpool at one point, but his career has really slipped off since, and he's really struggling to score, and he's just not there anymore, and I don't know why he's still getting played so much because he's not really there, and I think now Batshuayi's coming in, he just won't get the game times, or shouldn't really get the game time because he doesn't really seem to bring any kind of a creative ability to the squad or any boost to the squad really. Next up we have Fulham, I believe. So Mitrovic is who I've got. Mitrovic is a very, very good striker, top goal scorer last season in the Championship, and was the main reason why they got promoted. But I think at the moment he's not really done. I think he scored 1 or 2 goals so far this season, but I think when he was in the Prem 2 seasons ago, he didn't. He got relegated. I mean, he was relegated with them. I think he might have been the top scorer then, but he hasn't done quite as much. But I put him in a D, which might be a bit harsh, but I haven't really seen enough of him from the Prem, and I don't know how he's going to step up from the step back up from the Championship to the Prem, even though he was in the Prem before. But yeah, I'd put him in a D position. No, next up we've got Leeds, I believe. Leeds, we've got Bamford, and Rodrigo. So Rodrigo is just joined the club, and I don't know how he's going to do. He did get his first goal, which was a bit of a tap-in, but I just don't see. I haven't seen enough from him in the Prem, and I don't know how we're going to do. So I put him in an E, but I mean that could easily get changed around. I just don't really know how he's going to do in the Prem. But Bamford is a very good striker, and I think even though when he was at Chelsea, he got played a lot, and he just wasn't really that good. But Bielsa's kind of come in and just been like, scrap all that, we'll go again, but you don't need to focus on anything before. This is your game, you can play it how you want, and he's really got a system that fits well with him. And I mean, it proves it because I think he's played most of the games throughout this season and last season. So I've put him in a C because he's definitely one of like Leeds' best players, and without him, they just wouldn't score as many goals. They just wouldn't be as good. So I put him in a C. So next up, we've got Leicester. Jamie Vardy is the person I've got. Only Jamie Vardy, because there only needs to be Jamie Vardy. Because even though he is getting on a bit, he's just an A+ striker, and he's still getting Golden Boot last season. He got them. He was the main reason why they got not promoted. They won the league, and he is just probably up there with one of the best England strikers of all time, and definitely the best Leicester player of all time, in my opinion, and probably most people's opinion, really, because of how good he is. And yeah, so A plus for him. Next up, we've got I think we've got Liverpool. Liverpool. So we've got Firmino, but that's it. So Firmino, he's a very defensive striker, as everybody already says. But I mean, it's kind of a joke, but still, he is a defensive striker. That is his main role, and that's the system that gets put in from Jurgen Klopp. He doesn't score as many as he'd probably like to score, but I think he is still a very good striker and does bring a lot to the Liverpool team, just a bit discreetly, and he is definitely underrated. So I've got him in a B position. I've just realised I've missed Everton. So let's go back to Everton. Everton, we've got Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison. So Calvert-Lewin has started amazingly this season. He didn't have the best of last season, but he's just started just amazing. There's no words for it really, and that's why I put him in a B, even though he didn't really have the best of seasons last season. I think just what Ancelotti's doing with him and how I think he's worked out how he should play and how he plays the best. I mean, it seems like it, the amount of hat-tricks he's getting. So B for him. Richarlison, I've also gotten a B because I think he is a very good player, and even though he probably should have got sold for the amount that Barca put in for him, he didn't, and Ancelotti's definitely working well with Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin. So Richarlison is just a very, very good striker, and I think recently, since Calvert-Lewin started doing so well, he's not really getting the attention he deserves, even though he's still scoring a lot. And with him, James Rodriguez, Decore, Alan, it's just an amazing squad now. So I've got him in a B as well. So we'll move on to Man City now. So we've got Jesus and Aguero. So Jesus is a very good striker and always has to seem to step in at the moment because of how, with Aguero, his fitness and his injuries quite often and stuff like that. But he is kind of stepping up, and he might have the odd goal drought, but even then he's still making good runs and getting assists and stuff like that. So I've got him in an A. Very good striker, and the second A that I've got, except from Lacazette. But Aguero, of course, you have to have him in an A+. Even if he's not played that much in the last season, he's still just an amazing striker, probably one of the best strikers in the world. I guess in the world when he's fully fit, yeah. And one of the best strikers of all Premier League time, really. And what he's done for Man City to get him from where they were to where they are now is just amazing. So A+ for them, or for him. And Man United next up, we've got Rashford, Martial, and that's it. So we'll start off with Martial. Martial, I like him. And I think when he's on form, he's amazing. But he gets off form quite quickly, and he's quite not really teamworking kind of player. He doesn't really want to track back. He's got quite a selfish attitude, and just all I want to do is just score worldies and stuff like that. So that's what he sometimes seems to do. But I've still got him in an A because he is still an amazing player on form. He can do mad things for Man United. And I mean, he showed that at the end of last season post-lockdown. No, after lockdown. I don't know if post means. Anyway, yeah, so I've got him in an A, but I think if he doesn't get up there soon, then he could drop down. But if he's still scoring like he is, then he can't really go down from an A, really. We've got Rashford now, so it has to be an A+ for Rashford. Rashford, even though he come through the Man United youth, and he started as what he meant to continue, really. He started off with a goal on every single one of his debuts for every competition, really. Felt like, and it seems as though he's kind of just breathed Man United now, and what he's doing for, I know it's off the pitch, but the off the pitch stuff is amazing, what he's doing, and that kind of, I know it's not on the pitch, but it kind of shows. Oh, sorry, something's just come up on my screen. Sorry. Yeah, that kind of shows what kind of a player he is. He doesn't want to get all the goals. He's not that bothered. He's kind of the opposite to Martial, really. And he still gets a lot of goals anyway. He's happy to play out on the left wing if Martial wants to play in the centre. So I've got him as an A+. Next up now, we have, I think we've got Southampton. I think I've got that right. Southampton, we've got Ings and we've got Adams. I'll start off with Adams. Adams, I've got him as an E because I don't think he's quite there yet, joining from Birmingham. at the start of last season. He didn't have the greatest of last seasons for most of it, but come back from lockdown, I've seen something in him. I've seen some like kind of working well with Ings, and I think this season he started off pretty well. And his connection with Ings is good, and he doesn't have to score all the time because Ings kind of gets the goals, and that's why he gets all the credit. But he definitely helps, and I think they do have a good kind of. They do work well together. Next up, Ings, I've got him as an A because, of course, he almost got a golden boot, and to do what he's done, which is basically go from being an amazing striker to have some injury problems and being about and not really seem like he will be doing that much, to come back to doing what he was doing before, pretty much, just a bit older. Like it's kind of mental what he's doing now, and yeah, that's why I've got to put him as an A. If I did this at the start of last season, he'd probably be in like a D or an E, but he's made it up to an A in one season just because of how good he's been for Southampton. And it wasn't even at the start because they were losing around 9-0. He wasn't really doing that much, but he's really stepped up with Hassan, who I think that's how you say his name, and he's now their best striker. Next up, Sheffield United. We've got McBurney and McGoldrick. I've got McGoldrick as an F just because he didn't really do that much last season. He took it a while for him to even score. I think it took him past lockdown to even score, and I just don't think he's Premier League quality. And McBurney I've got as an E because I just don't think he's up there. I think he's good, but I don't know. I think Sheffield United's striker options aren't as good as they should be to keep contesting with what they were doing last season. And I think their defence was probably the main focal point of the last season of why they started off so well. And I think the midfielders were the main scoring points, really. So yeah, I've got them E and F, which isn't really amazing, but next up, we've got Tottenham Hotspurs. We've got Kane and Son. I've put Son as an A, which might seem a bit harsh, but that's just because he got injured at the end of, around the middle of last season, which really didn't help. And also, Son is more of an assister, really. And I think, A is still an amazing kind of position to be in, but I think Kane has to be Ace Plus, and I don't really want to have two Tottenham strikers in Ace Plus because otherwise that might seem a bit biased. But still, he could easily be A plus. I'm just being a bit picky, really. Kane, we have got A plus, like I have said though, and what else have I got to say? Probably going on to be the best England goal scorer of all time, and maybe one of the best of all time in the Premier League. Definitely the best striker in the Premier League right now. I guess it's probably between him and Vardy at the moment, but Kane doesn't really seem to go on goal droughts. It's just his injuries problems. But other than that, he's just amazing. He knows exactly where the goal is and works very well with Son. So that was Tottenham. Moving on to West Brom now. We've got Robinson and Robson-Kanu. I've got them both in E because I think Robinson is a very good striker, but he hasn't quite got goals yet. He's got like 4 goals and I think 40 appearances in the Premier League. And Robson-Kanu hasn't really proven it yet, and I think last season he was very good for West Brom, but other than that, he hasn't really played at the moment, and now he's got a broken arm, so I don't really think I'll be seeing him anytime soon. So I've kind of created my own players very low there, but and then finishing up. Wait, we've missed Newcastle. I keep missing teams. So we've got Wilson, Carroll, and Joelinton. I'm just going to say Carroll and Joelinton Fs. You kind of know why. That kind of makes sense. But Wilson has got as a D because I think he brings new life to the club. And if he does what he did last season, 2 seasons ago in 18-19 season with Fraser, then he'll be amazing again. And now they're still both together. I don't really see why not, to be honest. And he started off very well so far this season, and I could see him doing big things. But now we've got West Ham, and we've got Haller, and that's all I put in. I didn't put in Bowen, but I put in Haller. Haller. Oh no, I also got Antonio. There we go. Haller and F because he just kind of came to the Prem. He was meant to be the new big thing, and he hasn't really done that much. And I don't know. I might be being a bit harsh, but I think F at the moment. He could easily go back up because his ability with the Bundesliga was amazing, but an F at the moment. And Antonio I've got as a C because of what he did to help West Ham, what he's done to help West Ham. He's been at West Ham for a while now, and what he did last season to help them stay up was amazing in that. And he started this season very well as well. And he is just what you think about when you think of West Ham at the moment. And I mean, that's not really a problem because he's an amazing striker. So that's why I've got him as a C. And in the final club now, I believe, I don't think I've missed out any club. Hopefully I haven't. We've got Wolves and we've got Jimenez. I've put Jimenez in A. I think he's probably up there. He's definitely one of the best strikers that Wolves ever had and that the Prem's had in a while, and his ability is very, very good, and he definitely knows where the goal is and how to score from pretty much any position. He works well with this team, this Portugal team, saying he's not Portuguese. But yeah, I think that is it. Yeah, that is it. Hope you have enjoyed this video and this style of video. If you want to see me do more grading videos, no, it's a bit longer, but still, hope you do enjoy. And yeah, thanks. Or if you haven't subscribed, subscribe please. I said that before, but you should. And like the video if you did like this video. And yeah, thanks for watching.